What's up, print hustlers? Today we're at Sound and Fury Print and we're going to talk about some shop hacks. So I've been blessed in my career to be able to work with hundreds of print shops and thousands of printers, and they've imparted knowledge they've collected over the years, little tips, tricks, hacks they use. We use them here at my shop, Sound and Fury, and today I'm going to teach you just a few of those. Let's get started. All right, here's a very simple one that helps. If I'm only printing on the top half of my screen, although it's not a big deal to reach back here and then have to bring it back and then drop it back there, it is wasted energy. I've seen a lot of people use hacks that put like a ruler or something along that. What I find helpful is a very simple bungee cord. So I'll go ahead and attach that bungee cord to that knob right there, stretch it around, and now when I'm done with my stroke, I can just drop it right there, put it up, and it's ready to go back when I come right back down, right within my reach. No more wasted time. On a manual press, you do that all day long. Every little bit of energy counts. Great simple hack to help you save some time and some energy. So here's a simple hack when it comes to how to line up your job on press. Now I've seen lots of variations of this, so whatever works for your shop, make it work, and it's the best thing you can do. This is an example of what we do here at Sound and Fury. So this top line right here, not only do we nest what we're gonna print over it, but that top line's actually the top of the pallet line. And then of course we've got the center spot too. So let me show you what this looks like once it's translated to film. So here we've got a screen. It's got a peace sign, and we have that line up top again. So all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use the mark on the platen. We see that center line, and I'm gonna use this top line to actually line it up to the top of the platen. So now I line that up right there, make sure that I'm lined up in my center, and now I've got it dropped down perfectly where when I load the shirt just to the collar, the tip right here, and then now that 1/2 inch collar comes down about there, and I'm 3 fingers or about 2 inches down from that collar, giving me perfect placement. All right, so people ask me all the time, what's the quickest and best way to apply pallet peel? If you've been doing it for a long time, you've already got a great method to do it. If you're newer, it might be giving an issue, lots of air bubbles, things like that. Here's how I've always trained people to do it and what works for me. So first thing is I make sure I've got the right pallet tape. This one's a little bit bigger than the pallet. You may choose to use one that's the exact size, whatever's best for you. Give it a little bit of a lip, bring it back to the edge. I then grab that lip, I use my wrists and my forearms, and I just roll it forward. I do that, and then I drape it down, make sure it's connected, bring it back, keep your knife handy nearby. When you get to the edge, go ahead and cut it. Then I actually use the pallet tape itself to help make sure it's nice and smooth. If you get any creases, all you gotta do is nicely lift it up, and again, use that pallet tape to make sure it's nice and smooth, and then you have perfect pallet peel every time. So maybe you've got a shop that's a manual shop like mine. Maybe you're having a hard time getting the high-end quality that the automatic press down the block is getting at their shop. Now there's other things you can do to help that, but one sure trick is you can use a heat press afterward. So if I look at this print, it looks really good, but there is a little bit of texture to it because we are manually pushing through on a manual press. You can use a heat press like this one, and you can actually press that in and create a smoother surface. It's gonna help with wash fastness, durability, and it's gonna make your shirt look probably even better than the one getting printed down the road on the auto. Oh, perfect timing, it's done. Let's take a look. Move it out of the way, peel this off, and here we can see that nice comparison of what it looked like previously to what it looks like now. It feels softer, it feels smoother, it's gonna have better stretch and wash fastness. Highly recommend that you do this if you're a manual shop. If you're an auto shop, you can do this. You can also use inline irons on your press to get the same look. Another really easy hack you can do with your heat press is you can use different kinds of material, paper, as a barrier between the hot plate and the substrate. So commonly you see a lot of folks using a Teflon sheet. That works well. The one thing with Teflon though is it will leave a very high gloss sheen to the actual print. I tend to like less of a sheen and more of a matte look. So I'll either use a piece of transfer paper that I use to make my screen printed transfers, or I'll use parchment paper. Parchment paper is a go-to for me because not only can I use it and help create a very matted down look for my heat press, but I can also attach it directly to the platen. So some of those ones you see that are Teflon sheets, they might have sleeves that kind of go over it. That works, but again, if you don't want that gloss, what can you do? This is a great time saver to not have to put this sheet down every single time. All I do is cut it a little bit longer. I also notch out a little bit on the back just because as I curl it up around the hot plate, there are some cords back here that I need to make sure to open up for. So I'm gonna bring this all the way to the back, just like that, bring it around, and then I'm going to close it. Once it's closed, I can fold it up over, and I can go get some very cheap, high-powered magnets, hold it on there, tuck the back up, tuck the back up as well, use the magnets over there, and now I have it stuck to the hot plate. It can handle the heat. It's parchment paper. It's meant to be able to handle the heat. Handle the heat, no problem. And now all I have to worry about is loading on my garments, pressing them, and taking them off. And I'm keeping a nice barrier between the hot plate. If I need to change it out, no problem, change it out. If I get a crease, again, no problem, change it out. Big time saver, simple hack, definitely worth your time if you use a heat press. All right, here's another hack for those of us who do not have the money yet for an automatic coater. I would recommend that you get one as soon as you can. They make a world of difference. For the rest of us though, I wanna help fix a big problem I see. I see a lot of shops doing something like this, right? You put it on a bucket, they have their scoop coater in one hand, and they're kind of doing one of these. They tip it forward, they bring it up, and they're using their back. They're coming up and down. They're doing a 2/1, something along those lines, right? Just up and down with their back. You do that all day long, you're gonna have a sore back. It's also not the best to have one hand kind of shaky. You're gonna have different deposits on both sides. What I recommend is that you go to your supplier or you just Google wall-mounted coating rack. You get something like this. We mounted it right here. It's just over my knee height. When I put the screen in, now I've brought that screen up. I can take two hands, I can come down right here, little motion in the back, bring it up, and I have two hands to help create a much more uniform coat along it. I can also watch that drip and help scrape that off. A lot easier on the body, also a lot better of a deposit, even deposit, and you can keep your eye on what you're coating. So a very simple thing. These are usually about $35. Again, talk to your supplier or just go ahead and Google it. Again, it's a screen printing coating wall mounted rack. You're still here? You want one more? All right, I got one more for you. So I've seen a lot of folks online talk about a ninja fold. You grab here, you flip here. I can't do it, I'm no ninja. Here's how I quickly and correctly fold a shirt. So I'm gonna lay this shirt face up. I'm gonna take scissor fingers. I'm gonna go ahead and bring it about 1 inch out from the collar, try to match it to the bottom. Scissor finger that shut, pick it up, flip it. All I'm gonna do is grab this edge and try to match about that fold there. Take the bottom, flip it up to that shoulder seam, the armpit seam, and then take it one more time. Perfect fold. All right, there you go. Now get out of here.